All right. Collins O is an influencer whose superpower is his sense of humor. With his comedic videos, he has racked up over 4 million followers on TikTok. Today, he joins us with the inside scoop on the life of an influencer. So, welcome, Collins.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here.
I love the face makeup and everything going on.
Yes, that
Yeah.
is Decameron. Decameron does our variety show, so they'll be lip syncing after our Q&A.
Oh, dope. So,
Um, so speaking of superpowers, at Camp Lightbulb, we like to think of our queerness as our superpower. It's part of what makes us special. Do you think your LGBTQ identity has contributed to your success?
yes, absolutely. I think part of the reason why I've been able to acquire so much success on social media is one, my personality, and I get my personality from being queer. I feel like everything is just sort of all linked together. I play a character called Patricia, and I dress up in a wig, and she's super sassy and bossy, and all of those like personality all stems from me being queer and just me being able to express myself in whatever way I can. If I feel like putting on a wig or throwing on a bit of foundation here, whatever it is. But like all of that just stems from me being queer. And I've been able to sort of leverage that and sort of, I guess, turn it into some sort of humor and people enjoy it. And it's sort of now been a career for me. Which is awesome. So definitely, I make a joke all the time when I tell people like, if I was a straight man, I don't think I'll be doing this at all because I just don't think I would. So yeah, me being gay has everything to do with it for sure.
It definitely makes more entertaining content for sure, I think.
Queer people are literally like we run
Natural
everything.
born entertainers.
Are naturally we're born to be stars. Like yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So how long have you been making videos and how did you start?
I have been creating, well, ever since I was little, I knew like I couldn't picture myself doing anything that was not entertainment related. I just like when kids my age would be like, oh, I want to be a doctor and lawyer and engineer. I just never found interest in that. And I only could see one path, and that was just like entertainment, whether that was, acting, music, whatever it was. I just saw myself just entertaining people. So uh, I started filming, I think I started making videos 2015. But I think at that time I wasn't really taking it serious. I think I started taking it more seriously around like maybe late 2016, early 2017. And that was when I started making videos on TikTok, which was originally called Musically at the time. At the time, a bunch of people were like doing lip syncs, and I didn't want to do lip syncs because I was just like, that's just not me. Like, I was like, what can I do? Like, I wanted to really show my personality, and I was like, okay, I guess I can like do like little skits here and there. And very few people were making skits at the time because it was marketed as a lip sync app, right? So people thought I was crazy. I remember getting comments from people saying like, "Oh, this is like a lip sync app. Why are you making jokes? Like, no one does that here." And fast forward today, like I feel like comedy is like really and comedy and like dance is really what's driving like TikTok right now. It's like people love to see personality and humor. Um, so yeah, I started making videos. I think it's been like what 6, 7 years. So I've been doing this for a while, and I'm so grateful. Like I've been able to build a fan base for myself, which is awesome. I get to connect with my audience and at the same time get paid to do what I enjoy doing. So I'm very, very grateful. Very.
Nice. So the moral of the story is you being different is what made you successful.
Mhm.
For sure. So how long did it take you to get 4.6 million followers? How does that happen?
Oh my goodness. I was struggling in the beginning, child. I was trying to get something going, and it was really hard for me. I think I had like one video go viral, and that sort of like set the tone for like the rest of other stuff on my page. So honestly, like TikTok is I love TikTok because one, it gives everyone a space to like because other social media platforms are so saturated. Like the algorithm on like YouTube and Instagram is like so difficult to be coming like out the gate. But for TikTok, it really gives you like the freedom to like literally anyone has a chance of going viral. Like I think it's just so great. Um, yeah, I had like one video go viral and I was like, oh, okay, I have this one viral. I got to do something similar to that. To like, because people really enjoy that video, I got to do something else that's sort of similar to that so that more people can come in. And I think I just started doing that and just trying to recreate my viral videos. And it wasn't really until I started, you know, playing characters that things really, really took off for me. And I hit like my first million, I think maybe was it, I think 2017 or 2018, I hit my first million. And then after that, it just like kept going and going and going and going and going. So it's really hard in the beginning, but like after you like have built a solid fan base for yourself and you really work on that, it's like pretty smooth um, all the way through.
So how many characters do you have?
Well, in the beginning, I was just doing a bunch of random stuff, but there was one that really stuck, and that was my Patricia character, which I talked about earlier. So basically, she's like this character. She's super sassy. Her thing is like she takes people's man, so she's like a homewrecker thing. So like I would make like skits around the fact that she's always like don't bring your man around Patricia because she's gonna take your man, and like people really loved that and I took it and I ran with it and I would create a bunch of like my skits around that idea and people really loved it. And then I was able to sort of transition that over to my YouTube channel where like I did this little thing. I was doing like prank calls on YouTube, and that's really what took my YouTube, like I gained tons of subscribers from that. Was I would do I dressed up as Patricia and I would prank call random girls. So I would have my supporters sending numbers of like, I don't know, like their girlfriends or whatever, and I'll call random girls and tell them, I took your man. Like I basically, your man got me pregnant. And their reactions will obviously be like so dramatic, and people as a viewer really enjoyed that. So I took the whole idea and I sort of like, okay, what can I do with this? How can I create content around this idea? Because people really, really like this idea. So the Patricia character was really what stuck with people and really like catapulted like my entire like social media thing up. Like that took everything up for sure.
Well, I hope we get to see what Patricia's up to for Valentine's Day, because that's coming up.
Yeah, I don't know, like as a creative myself, when I do something for so long, I get to a point where like I get bored of just playing the same thing for so long. So I took a break from creating the Patricia videos just because I don't know, like I like being innovative and trying different things. I don't like restricting myself to just one box. So I did take a break from making the Patricia videos, but she will be making a return this year. I haven't made one in like maybe 6 months. That was just because I just wanted to experiment with other things, but a lot of my supporters have been begging, like, please bring her back, please bring her back. So yeah, 2022, I'm definitely I have some ideas for her this year. So she'll be back, she'll be back.
Have you had any like repercussions from like those prank calls or anything like that?
I had nothing crazy, but I remember I called someone before and what was it? I think I called someone's mom. So the first prank call I did was I called random like girls, like regular youth girls, teenagers and stuff, and I told them, hey, I took your man. And then that did really well. And I was like, okay, what else can I do? And I was like, okay, why about I call like random parents and tell them that their son got me pregnant? So I called one random mom and her reaction was just like, she was going crazy. She called me all sorts of names. She was like, my son would never do that. And then usually at the end of the call, I'm always like, oh, by the way, this is a prank because I don't want anyone to get in actual trouble. So I called her back and I was like, hey, this is a prank, by the way, like I'm just joking. And she just completely flipped off on me. Like I could tell like she did not take that very, very likely. But I usually call them on a blocked number because I don't want anyone coming for me.
Smart.
I don't want anyone coming for me. So I was like, okay, at least she can't like track me down or anything like that. I was like, okay, this is maybe getting a little bit too intense. I probably should like slow down because some people can't take a joke. So that was like the scariest encounter I've had with those prank calls.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't worse, right?
Yeah, it wasn't worse. I didn't have anyone come kill me or anything.
So you have like an off the cuff comedic style. Does how much planning is involved into making your videos?
For my TikTok, very little goes into that because I'm the kind of person where like if I think of something, I film it on the spot. And like my TikTok videos are like majority of them are just like me ranting about like random stuff, like let's say something happened to me in school today and it pissed me off. I turn my camera on and talk about it, and people would find humor in that, or and play like my characters. I think of an idea, I was like, oh, this is a funny idea, let me just film something real quick. So not too much planning goes into my TikTok. However, for like my YouTube, it's again a longer format, so like a lot more preparation goes into that. If I'm talking about a specific topic, I might do a bit of research on that topic and then film it and talk about that. So YouTube is a lot more preparation goes into that. But TikTok, I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun in TikTok. And that's literally what it is. Like, I try not to take it seriously because in my mind, when I start like, obviously this isn't like my job, but like when I start treating it like a job, it just doesn't become fun for me anymore. So I try to have fun when I do these things because that's what keeps me going. If I'm having fun, then my ideas are sparking in my head and I'm more motivated to do certain stuff. But when it starts feeling like work and it's like I have to do this, then I start losing the motivation and I don't want to do this anymore. So I try to have fun as much as I can with it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Do you have any other passions but besides making videos?
Yes, acting has always been a dream of mine. Like acting, acting, acting. I don't want to be a content creator forever. I definitely want to. Social media to me is like a thing where I can sort of leverage to get to like my dream goal, which is acting. I'm so grateful I've been able to build, a platform, and build a solid, group of supporters, and that's awesome. But like that's just like, okay, level one's completed. Like now what's the next thing, which is acting, and that's what I want to do. I've been taking acting classes with one of the coaches in Los Angeles, but I take it over Zoom because I don't live in LA. But I'll be moving to LA very soon, hopefully ending of this year or early 2023, we'll see. I'm in school right now, so I got to graduate school first and be done with that. And then after that, then, hopefully once I'm done with school, I can move down to Los Angeles and really start just hardcore doing a bunch of auditions and stuff like that. But right now, I'm in like the training phase, really mastering the craft and learning and, reading books and techniques and stuff like that. I just really training myself before I go into the real world and audition.
Well, you seem like you have that natural star quality, so I'm sure you'll do just fine.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes, massive. Yes, for sure.
So, based on whether it be your success with TikTok or just life in general, have you learned any valuable lessons that you would like to share with other young people?
Huh. Lessons specifically on TikTok or just like
Just in
overall?
general works too.
Okay. I think the biggest lesson I've learned is you need to live your life for you and not for anyone else. And for me, being gay was like, I come from a very religious family. I'm an immigrant, I'm Nigerian, and I moved to this country when I was 12 years old. And like being gay, being queer, being bi, being whatever does not like it's not really accepted in my household because of my tradition and my background. So I knew like coming out for me would be very, very difficult. So for many years of my life, I spent it just like hiding who I was. And I literally felt like a prisoner in my own body because I was so afraid of disappointing my family, right? Because I wanted to make them proud. Like my mom sacrificed so much for me, to come here and make it in this country. And the last thing I wanted to do was to be seen or be viewed as a disappointment to the very same people who sacrificed so much for me. Um, So for many years, I was living my life for other people and basically jeopardizing my own happiness just to please other people. And it wasn't until my father passed away that I got my big wake up call. And I was like, okay, I have to live my life for me, because his life was taken. Like, he was a perfectly healthy man and he was murdered. And I saw that. I was like, wow, like life is short, because you never know when you're gonna, like, you never know when you're gonna be gone. And I do not want to live this world not being my authentic self. I want to live life knowing that I lived here, being who I am, being proud of who I am, you know, and being happy. I wanted to be happy. So that was a big wake up call for me. It's like, okay, yeah, I can't keep hiding. I can't keep hiding, because God forbid I die tomorrow. I don't want to die knowing that I basically lived my entire life a lie. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to live my life being who I am and being proud of who I am. So definitely just live for you. You have one life, live it to the fullest, be proud, be happy. Who cares what anyone says? Oh, well, like, as long as you're happy, that's really all that matters. And that's like my biggest life lesson. And I live by that till today.
Well, we're glad you learned that lesson, because now you're bringing so much happiness to other people, and yeah, I mean, you are a role model for young LGBTQ plus people. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to open up the Q&A to some of our campers here. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask Collins.
I have one. I'm kind of not sure how to exactly word this, so just bear with me as I kind of try to. So like, what advice would you give someone who's like trying to help you, be there for you, but also still maybe, still struggling with their own like identity and confidence? Because I'm actually now a youth ambassador, and something I notice is like I very much struggle with confidence within myself, but I'm like more confident when I'm speaking about what I want to do with my future. So like, what kind of like advice would you give me in a way to kind of like help with that? Because I'm also too actually immigrant in a way. I just finally got my citizenship finally figured out a year ago. We didn't know for 17 years after my adoption that there was an issue, but we found out. So I consider myself an immigrant, but it's like I just struggle with my confidence level with myself. And people are like, oh, you're doing great work. Like, you seem very confident when you're speaking. And I'm like, I don't feel that way. I feel very like nervous before I speak. And I'm just like, what advice would you give?
That is such an interesting question, because we're both in the same situation. When I came out to my family, I came out to one part of my family, right? There is another part that literally still has no idea that I am gay. And I struggle with that every single day, because I constantly feel like, oh my God, I'm probably going to have to relive everything that I went through. I came out to my family officially 2 years ago, but I've been out to the public, but like, they don't really follow my social media journey. So like, they don't really know, but like my supporters, like, we're very aware, but like my actual family, I never like felt comfortable enough sharing that information to them. So that happened 2 years ago. And that was just one part, which is like a lot, but the other part of my family still has no idea. And it's so hard, because I'm doing this right now. I'm in this Zoom call talking to you guys about my own experiences, and, you know, sort of being a voice and an outlet for like my own community. But at the same time, I'm like battling, like, how am I going to tell my other family that I am gay? Because I don't want to relive exactly what I went through 2 years ago, and the trauma that caused upon me. Like, I don't want to go through that again. And there are times, I'm gonna be honest with you, there are times where I feel like, there's times where I'm literally still slightly ashamed of who I am. I still feel that way. I've come a long way. I've come to love myself and I've come to accept myself. But there's just sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, like, how am I going to say this to them? I still get I know I present confident on camera most of the time, but because that's like my outlet to just express, like social media to me is like an outlet for me to express myself however I want to and how I really want to feel. But once those cameras turn off and I come back to the real world and I'm facing like real people and like my real family, it's sometimes very, very difficult for me. So I wish I had an answer for you. I truly wish I had an answer for you. But like the only thing that's keeping me going right now is I try to just think of the bigger picture. And it's like, even if I am not 100% with myself, if I can at least help other people, I will feel good. Like that makes me feel good. It's the idea that I'm helping other people. So that's what keeps me going. It's like I have a bigger mission. There's a bigger goal in mind. And just like I want to make sure that I give something back to my community. I want to help my community, whether in whatever way that I can. So that's like the big factor that just keeps me going. And when I think about that, when I think of the amount of, I get messages from my supporters, my queer supporters all the time where they send me messages and they're like, Collins, because of you, I was able to come out, or because of you, I was watching your videos and you gave me this confidence. I'm able to be proud of who I am. And when I get those messages, like that to me is like, that's like my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to create a space and where my people are comfortable and they don't have to hide, and they can just be whoever they want to be and be free and be confident. However way that I can do that, like if I can just put that out to the world, I will feel complete with myself. So that's what keeps me going. And it's not the best answer. I know like sometimes we want to feel 100% with ourselves, but like one day, hopefully I'm there. Hopefully one day I get to a point where I'm like 100% and I'm good all the time, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And I don't know how long it's going to take, a year, a two, a decade. I don't know, but we'll just have to see. As long as I'm putting joy and love into the world, that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, you definitely have to be patient with yourself. Realize that everybody struggles with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like who you're addressing. Like everybody is experiencing the same things you've experienced, and use empathy and kind of put yourself in their shoes and let that empower you, because your words do matter. Your actions do matter. You can affect people. So knowing that you have that power, like let that empower you.
Yeah.
All right, good question, Katie. Do we have any more questions for Collins? Nisha, go ahead, Nisha.
Okay, hi. All right, so when you brought up Patricia earlier, I just remembered that I had this video from you saved like 2019.
Oh my God.
And it brought like, what was your favorite video? Because the video I have saved is probably like my favorite one. But what's your favorite video that you've made?
Oh my God, I've created so many content. My favorite video that I have made. I think I have two. Oh, okay. I think one, I can't decide. This is so hard. Like I've done so much stuff, and I like my work. I sometimes I watch my old videos and I actually laugh. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm actually kind of funny. Like, so I don't. Okay. I think there's one that I know. Like I don't know why it's not coming to my mind, but one I can think of right now is I remember one time I dressed up Patricia in like as Dora. I dressed up as Dora, and then like I made like a whole theme song. Took the theme song from Dora and I completely like changed it into fit into like Patricia's character. And I basically created like a Dora the Explorer intro, but like a Patricia version to that. And I thought that was like really, really funny. And I think another one was what was the other one? What was the other one? What was the other one? I think it was the Applebee's one. Something. Oh, I don't know. I forget the context of what I did. This was like 29. This was like a long time ago, 2019. But I think it was like I think the joke was like Patricia's friend calls her on the phone and tells her like her boyfriend cheated on her, and you know, she's expecting her friend to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you," but at the same time, Patricia's like, "Well, yeah, I know he cheated because I took your man. He cheated on you with me." So I created like a little skit around that, and that was like really funny, and that did like really well on TikToks. I think that's the two I can think of right now. But I'm curious, like, what was yours?
I promise you, the one is the Dora one.
The Dora one.
I've literally been rewatching it.
Yeah, that was fun to make too. That was really fun to make. And I bought like the Dora wig, I bought the backpack, I dressed myself in like the pink shirt. Like I did like a whole costume thing for that. That was what 2018, that was so long ago. I was still in high school then.
Wow. All right. Any more questions for Collins?
I actually have one question real quick. This is slightly on like a little bit of a different tangent, but I'm very curious. Do you have a preferred editing software? Because you work on several different social media platforms. So I'm just kind of curious if there's a specific type of video editing software that you like to use for your content.
Well, I use Final Cut Pro on my YouTube. Like I'm not like a tech person, so I try to find like the most simplest way for me to just navigate. And I do basic cuts. I'm not like there are other YouTubers where like a lot of their content like revolves around like the type of their editing style and stuff like that. And that's just not me. Like everything is just like my personality, and I do basic cuts. I don't have an editor. I like to have full control of my stuff because when I film, I go through like my filming process is kind of crazy. So I don't like people watching like my rough drafts. So I like to have, I don't think I would ever have an editor. I just don't, I can't have people look at the stuff that I'm not like, no. So I do all my editing myself and Final Cut Pro on the MacBook. And that's all I use for TikTok. I don't do anything crazy. Sometimes I do little skits where like I pretend like I'm on a FaceTime call with someone. And I usually use iMovie on my iPhone for that. And I try to like create it to make it look like a FaceTime call. And I get like little sound, like the ringtone sound effects, and add all of those little stuff to like, yeah. But apart from that, TikTok, I usually film right off the app and post. YouTube, I have my Canon camera. And once I'm done recording, I head over to Final Cut Pro and do like cuts, and yeah. That's pretty much all I do.
Good. People don't typically think about the tech side of watching these videos, but yeah, there's lots that goes into that.
Yeah, you can film for literally like 2-3 hours, and like the final product will be like 20 minutes for like 3 hours of filming, because like there's a whole bunch of cuts. And then like for YouTube, there's sometimes most of it is like natural, but there's sometimes I plan like some certain jokes that I want to say, or if I stutter or something like that, I have to like do that again. It's like a whole process, and so that's why I can't have an editor, because I just can't have people watching that of me. Like, I'm sorry, like, no, I'm so embarrassed. I have to have full control of all of my editing. But yeah, it's a really long process.
All right, last call for questions for Collins. Nisha's got another question.
If you could cast yourself in any movie or show, like doesn't matter when it was made, what would you cast yourself in and why?
Like a character from a movie, or like just what movie do I see myself starring in? Is that
yes?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I've been recently into horror movies lately. And I think I don't know if have you guys seen the movie Us? Yeah, I really, really love that movie. I wish I played like one of those kids. I would eat that role up. I would have completely dominated that. I know I would. I wish I was in that movie. I just love it. I love the idea of the double wing, everything. I'm obsessed with that movie and I still watch it till today. I think it came out like in like 2020. Yeah. Yeah. If there's a movie, I think it would be Us. I've been into horror lately. I love horror.
Well, maybe you can post an audition tape for that or something.
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to. The thing is, like, when it comes to acting, you know, you need your agents and stuff like that. And I'm just like working right now and building up my reel and hopefully sending that to some casting agencies and finding some representation, because all of these casting calls go through like agents and then before they get to actors. So yeah, unless like there's like some open call, then I would do something like that. But it's a working process and step by step, baby steps, and hopefully I'll get there at the end.
Well, we wish you all the success in the world.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us, Collins. This is awesome that you came here and joined us. And you're welcome to come back anytime, so just let us know.
Love to.
We are gonna go to our variety show, so we bid you farewell and thanks again.
Thank you for having me, you guys.